This regular meeting of the Detroit Lake City Council is called to order, and I'd like to invite you all to please rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the regular city council meeting held January 12, 2016. Is there anyone in the audience or any member of the council that wishes to make any changes to the minutes as they're printed? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the minutes as printed. Discussion. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is carried. The consent agenda is before the council, and all items with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered separately in its normal sequence on the agenda. Is there anyone in the audience or any member of the council that wishes to either add or remove an item from the consent agenda?
I'll remove 6H.
Okay, 6H is removed. And then there was a public utilities item that I think Vernell.
No.
Was there a public utilities item, Vernell, we want to remove?
They're not on the consent.
Yeah, it would be 10D, Mr. Mayor.
10D?
D is in dog.
Okay, any other items? So the two items that have been asked to be removed are 6H and 10D. Actually, 10D, there's no action on it. Is that correct, Vernell? Okay. So we'll just say no action on that. So 6H is off the consent agenda. And I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda with that one change.
So moved. Second.
There's motions made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Discussion. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is carried. At this time, I would like to invite our newest police officer, Randall Haken, to come forward, and I'm going to administer an oath of office. So if you please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Randy Deacon, promise that I will humbly serve all residents with a response to their crisis with compassion, sincerity and concern, patience, kindness, and respect. I promise that I will at all times conduct myself in a manner that reflects positively on the Detroit Lake Police Department and the city of Detroit Lake. Finally, I promise to follow the policies of the Detroit Lake Police Department, uphold the laws of our state and nation, and the ordinances of the city of Detroit Lake, and that I will faithfully discharge my duties to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
I was the chief of police for the city of Henderson, Minnesota for 3.5 years. I served on my for 4 years prior to coming here. Before that, I worked at Cleveland, Minnesota as a police officer. Then I was in college for 6 years and police enforcement. My wife works for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. She is kind of the reason that brought me to this area. She's the deputy manager at National Wildlife Refuge right now. My hometown is Clayton, Minnesota, so about 30 miles from my house, 30 miles from South Dakota. I grew up in a farming family. I with my wife right outside of Crazy. And we met in Jewelry, so all over the place. you. Thank you to the police department for giving me a chance to serve you guys. I'm very excited.
We're glad to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to adjourn the regular meeting and call to order a public hearing for the purpose of abatement of nuisance created by multiple motor vehicles parked at the front yard and rear yard and running an automotive business in an R2 zone at 1118 Wilson Avenue. Dave or Larry or somebody on the staff want to, or Chief? Yeah.
I don't see Mr. Jonas here. Just like me to kind of bring you up to speed on what's going on.
Yep, that would be good.
All right, well, back in January of 2015, we had sent a letter to this property, the owners, and we've been kind of going back and forth with them, January, March of 2015, April of 2015. In May of 2015, we actually had a hearing, public hearing. At that time, the day of the hearing, we had cleaned up most of his property. And then in September of 2015, we took some more photos and things were kind of starting to pile up again. So we got another complaint in January of this year. And part of the complaint is vehicles in the yard. Right now, there's one vehicle in the yard that doesn't look operational, the tabs are expired. There's a large trailer. I have pictures too. I'll pass those up. So this was taken, these pictures were taken yesterday of the property. And the backyard contains, I haven't been back there, but from the street view and from the driveway, you can see tools. And one of the things that was brought up in the May meeting last year was that it appeared that he was doing business out of his residence, auto work. He denies that. He says he fixes cars for his friends. And I had a chat with him back in September. Encouraged him to either switch hobbies or do something a little bit different. But it's kind of a chronic complaint with the neighbors. And that's where we're at now. I just drove by the residence before the meeting, and we're still sitting, and nothing's changed. The car in the street we can deal with easily because of the 48-hour thing. The junk in the backyard and the trailers and everything else, that's what we're asking.
Questions for the chief about the situation? Chief, has he stated that he wants to clean it up at all, or is he just sort of ignoring it?
Well, I haven't talked to him since the last letter went out. The last time I spoke with him was last fall, and we had a pretty good conversation. And he just said, "Look, I'm just a guy. He works X number of days a week, and then he says that he does it for a hobby for his friends to change oil or do some work." Last year, give him credit that it's better now than it was last year. But it's different vehicles, and they sit there, a lot of times they're just a shell of a vehicle, the engine's taken out of them, and different things like that. We have honestly, no proof that he's getting money for doing the business side of things. So I guess my focus more is on the abatement of the nuisance, unless we get somebody that says, I got an oil change by this guy at his house, or whatever, which I don't think he could get up there. So more, right now, typically we go out every spring and just kind of do a proactive look at the properties, and if there's something that's obvious. This property is more reactive. One of the calls last April was a proactive, where our officers saw the stuff, did it. But everything else has been on behalf of the neighbors calling in and saying, it's a different car, it's the same problem, different version.
So what would be your process to abate this thing? Would you go tow this stuff away? Or how would we abate it? Tow it away?
Yes.
Okay, any questions for the chief?
Do you think giving them till March 15th is reasonable, or April 1st? To abate it.
Clean it up,
You're,
move it out.
you're asking to do it immediately.
Right, because it'll be the same, if we give him till March or April, he'll move that car out of there. And I was honestly surprised that it was still there today, because the history is that he'll move the stuff, and it's just a recurring event.
I guess my point though is, okay, so if you want to do it immediately, let's say March 1st, I just, if we vote to abate it, and I don't want the tow truck to show up tomorrow and he hasn't had a chance to correct it himself, because he has to pay for what he's doing. So if we abate it and you tell him March 1st, then at least he's got a couple of weeks to take care of it.
Sure.
Okay.
April.
Jamie?
You know, I think that we complain when these properties have these kind of situations, and we ask the staff to go out and take a look, and I think this guy's had some opportunities, you know, I think he understands, or at least has had an opportunity to understand. So I think at this point, we should act on staff's recommendation. Otherwise, we just kind of send them in circles as staff, I think.
Okay, Bob, do you have something to add?
I'm just suggesting what you want to do is, we usually send a notice and give them on March 1st, as Bruce has suggested, to get it out of there and warn them if they don't, by that time, we have to do it to cover it. That's after the council has declared it a nuisance.
So there actually is a little bit of grace period built into the process.
Typically.
Further questions? Otherwise,
Well, I think going along with that, because this is getting to be quite a bit with these car situations, and around town, we're getting cars that are just parked on people's lawn. They don't move for a long period of time, and I think it'd be good that if we could get, when the policemen are driving by, if they notice cars that are parked, to let the staff know here about those so we can get rid of them, because it's getting to be more and more of it. And it's not fair to these neighborhoods, and we've got a situation over on Lorraine Avenue where a guy's had a vehicle parked there for almost 9 months, and he doesn't seem to get it when people tell him to move it. And I just don't think it's fair to the neighborhoods, to good neighborhoods that become trashed pretty easily if we don't let people have this cleaned up in a hurry. So I think I agree with both Jamie and Bruce that we should take action on this immediately and follow through on it. If the guy starts over again, we've got to get in there and get it taken care of, and tell him if he wants to do car repairs, he's got to get it to a zoning that is commercial for his car repair business, and it can't be in a R2 anymore.
Go ahead, Marty.
Nobody's made a motion yet, right?
That's correct.
I would make a motion that we abate the property with a 7-day notice, or whatever our standard operating procedure is.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to abate the nuisance at 1118 Wilson Avenue. Further discussion on the motion.
So you're saying that he's only got 7 days?
Yeah, because this is a cycle, and I think normally I would say, okay, let's give him a couple of weeks, but not this time. He's had his warning, he's had his soft approach, and it's time to take action.
Further discussion. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is carried, and the nuisance will be abated. And that public hearing is closed. At this time, I will call to order a public hearing to receive public comments on the matter of vacating a portion of public right-of-way and utility easement in the plat of Tower Road Industrial Park plat. Larry or someone on the city staff want to preface this item?
This is a request to vacate a portion of the public road right-of-way and utility easements so that the development authority can sell a 12.92 acre piece of land to the city for the public works garage. And so basically restructuring this plat so that we eliminate the road and so sewer and water easements that are being needed so that we can make that land available for public works.
Okay, I would, I guess, ask anyone in the audience if they have any questions or comments regarding the matter of vacating a portion of public right-of-way in the Tower Road Industrial Park plat. Hearing none, that public hearing is closed, and I would entertain a motion from the council.
Your Honor, the CDC committee recommends approval of the vacating a portion of public right-of-way, utility easement on the Plata Tower Road Industrial Park, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to vacate a portion of the public right-of-way and utility easement in the Plata Tower Road. Discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion's carried. I know Ed Gerke is here with the Man of Food Group, and I want to just hold you off 1 second, Ed. Is there anyone else in the audience that has an item that they'd like to bring before the council, or an item on the agenda that they would like adjusted? Anyone? I'm trying to be accommodating. Okay. If not, Ed Gerke would like to address the council regarding the Man of Food Co-op, and as you know, the group has made a request to lease space from the lower level of the city administration building. You know, and when I've talked to Ed, I've indicated to him that, you know, we're in the process of doing some facility studies and likely are not maybe ready to do anything with that space